Hey there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back. I'm your host, PattSun, and today we're going to be taking a look at r/relationships, where we will see an example of an OP that has a solid spine. Let's begin. Did my girlfriend, now wife, cheat 16 years ago? Posted by Reddit user Technical Horse.
It happened in 2008 during the recession. I know it was a long time ago, but it still bothers me from time to time. I guess I need your opinion as members of this sub kind of makes you experts in this kind of situation. I will try to give you all the information and context to the best of my memory. Me and my girlfriend at that time, Kay, worked at the same company, but in different cities 2 hours apart. We were your typical mid-20s young professionals in a serious, happy relationship. She worked with my godmother in the same location. My godmother is the one who got me the job. She is BFF with my mom. We are very close, and I trusted her 100%. At around the downturn of the economy, circa 2008, there were company-wide changes. 2 of my workmates was moved to my girlfriend's location, and I got sent overseas for 2 years during the process of offshoring jobs. After 1 year abroad, I received an email from my friend. This guy was old, close to retirement. He is a bully, and likes rumors, kind of like a male Karen, if you may. He is good to me though. I hang out at his house to barbecue. Met his wife and kids. His email says, "Are you still with V?" I answered yes and why. He said he heard that Kay is in a relationship with a guy from the same department as those 2 guys who moved to her location. I of course panicked. I called my girlfriend right away. She of course denied it. Called my godmother, and she said she never heard anything, but will investigate. Called one of the guys who got transferred. This guy is a very introverted person. No friends, just do his job and go home. He said he has no idea, but if he has, he will keep it to himself as he does not want to be dragged into the mess. The other guy who got transferred left the company 5 months earlier. My friend says the rumor is my girlfriend has a plan of moving out from her parents and moving in with this guy, as his apartment is walking distance from the office. My girlfriend denied everything. Her excuse was there are 2 others with the same name in her big department. My godmother confirmed that there were really 3 of them with the same first name. Godmother also told me to trust my girlfriend, that she is a good girl, and that she never heard anything from her vines. My friend refused to go into detail, but just said that's all he's heard, and as a good friend, he's warning me. Godmother trusted my girlfriend 100%. Here's the thing. After a month my girlfriend surprised me with a visit. I was happy of course, but she was different. She was aggressive sexual. She gave me a BJ right after arriving at my place. She is riding me cowgirl and reverse cowgirl. A big contrast as before she was basically what you call a starfish. Just lie there and do nothing. Don't know how to ride. And I have to beg for BJs. When I asked her why the change, she said she was asking her 2 female friends how to be a good lover. Now these 2 friends of hers at that time were both divorced and are having flings. They even invited my girlfriend once to go with them with their partners in Europe. I just said go if you want to, but I think it's going to be an orgy trip. She said and that she was not really considering it and was just testing me. We are happily married now with 2 teens, but it still bothers my mind sometimes, especially if I read Reddit subs. So did she cheat? Do I need therapy? If I brought up the topic, she gets annoyed and tells me I am the only one since we started dating, and that she loves her elderly parent, but swears on their lives that she did not do it. They're still alive, and she's still a maniac in bed. So r/infidelity. Do you think it happened, or I am crazy, and needs therapy?
OP, you failed to trust your gut all of those years ago, and you didn't investigate deeper. Instead, you confronted her without evidence, giving her the opportunity to clean her tracks if she ever did had the affair. It's been more than a decade, man. It's damn near impossible to get evidence now. Time to let it go. You should have taken action when you suspected her of cheating the first time, either with her coworkers or when she was with her friends. She will never admit to it if there was an affair. So either let it go or get a divorce. Stop whining on Reddit. And now for today's second story. My wife admitted to having a drunken one-night stand last week, and it has turned me into a robot. Posted by Reddit user Far Humor.
I have been married to my wife, Kate, for 4 years, together for 9. Our relationship has been amazing, loving and supportive. We have good communication, hardly ever argue, and our bedroom life has gone from strength to strength over the years. We discussed cheating in the past, and I was always clear that we would be over if it ever happened. Kate went home to visit her family last weekend, which was fairly normal. Before she left on the Friday night, we had a minor argument about keeping the house tidy, so our communication was limited on Saturday, but I knew she was going out to meet some friends at a bar. I trusted her 100%, so didn't think anything of it. Before I fell asleep, I texted her saying that I hoped she had a nice night. When I woke up on Sunday morning, I had a missed call from Kate at 4 a.m., so I immediately called her to check if she was okay, but no answer. After a few hours I tried again a few times, but still no answer. Around an hour later, I got a message saying she was fine and was driving back soon. Kate got home late afternoon and looked awful. She had clearly been crying, was not wearing any makeup, which was unusual for her, and looked like a shell of a person. I knew right away something was wrong, but she wouldn't let me hug her and would barely speak. I sat her down on the couch and made her some tea. I gently encouraged her to tell me what was wrong, and she burst into uncontrollable tears for at least 10 minutes while I was trying to comfort her. She then proceeded to tell me, stopping every few words, that she had slept with someone last night after the bar. At that moment, something in my brain broke. I can't describe it any other way. I immediately got up and jumped in my car and drove off. I went to a park and walked around it for about an hour. Kate was calling my phone constantly, and I turned it off. When I got home, I grabbed 2 suitcases from the garage and went to our bedroom. I threw some of Kate's clothes and shoes into them and left them by the front door. Kate was lying on the floor in the living room, curled up into a ball sobbing. I called her best friend who lives nearby and told her that Kate needed a place to stay, a ride to her place, and that Kate could explain everything to her later. I told Kate I was leaving for an hour and that her friend was coming to pick her up. She grabbed onto my legs, trying to stop me from leaving. When I returned home again, Kate was gone, and so were the cases. On Monday, with a clearer head, I answered one of Kate's many calls and told her that I needed her to send me an email with as much detail as possible of that night, and if she leaves anything out, there will be no hope of reconciliation. I received this email on Monday night, but still haven't opened it. Since then, everyone has been trying to contact me, but I have just been working, exercising, and sleeping. One of her friends turned up at my house with an attitude, demanding an explanation. I told her to speak to Kate and closed the door in her face. I have also been speaking to divorce lawyers, have moved money into separate accounts and blocked Kate and all of her friends on everything. Everything I have done since I found out seems like I have been on autopilot. I don't feel angry, upset, or overly emotional, just numb. Kate posted a note through the door yesterday asking me to meet tomorrow, but I'm conflicted. Should I meet her? Will it change anything? Is there any point in trying to reconcile? Is it normal to feel like a robot, and how do I snap out of this? Edit. Just to add that when I came home the first time, Kate confirmed it was consensual. She was drunk, but knew what she was doing. Now for OP's first update. After reading your comments, I decided to meet with Kate, but not read the email. Kate came to the house yesterday, and when I opened the door, she looked terrible. She tried to hug me and started mumbling apologies. But I stopped her, and we sat down to talk. I started by telling Kate that I would be recording the audio of the conversation, and she agreed. I then asked her to explain what happened and told her that I haven't read the email she sent. Kate said she had been at the bar with 2 friends. I know and like both of them, and told me what she had to drink. I was surprised at how little she drank, because it was the same amount we would normally drink when going for dinner. A few glasses of wine and a cocktail. She admitted she was only slightly tipsy. One of her friends, Sarah, has a younger brother, Max, who came to pick them up around midnight. It's a running joke in their group that Max has had major crush on Kate since high school, and I had heard them joke about this. The 4 of them went to get some food and Max then dropped each one off, until it was just him and Kate. Kate said she didn't want him to drive the 20 minutes to her parents' place after working all day, so would just order an Uber from his apartment. She went into his apartment to order the Uber, but couldn't get one. Max suggested she should crash in his bed, and he would take the sofa. He would then drop her off in the morning. Kate refused and continued to try to find an Uber. They were sitting on Max's bed, and he kissed her. She kissed him back, and they ended up having sex. After that, she broke down crying from guilt and Max took her home, She cried for another hour, then tried to call me to tell me what she had done. We had to stop a number of times because Kate kept breaking down and crying hysterically. She told me it was a huge mistake. She got caught up in the moment. It was terrible. She only loves me. Blah blah blah. After she was done, I told her that her story didn't make sense, but it didn't matter at this stage because I was done. This caused another breakdown. I told her I was going to continue with the divorce preparations, but for the next month we would be separated with no contact. I also told her that we would both remain faithful, would get a full STD panel, and she would tell our mutual friends and family what happened. If she sticks to these conditions, I would be willing to meet again to see if there was any way forward other than divorce. She enthusiastically agreed to this, but made it clear that she did not expect me to stay faithful to her. I know many of you will criticize this decision, but I need to be sure that divorce is the right option after I have had time to process everything that has happened. I am still 99% sure that is where we are heading, but I need to be 100% certain. And now, for OP's second update. A few things have happened in the last week, so I thought I would make an update post if anyone is interested. First of all, I'm not in robot mode anymore. I have been having bursts of intense feelings of anger and betrayal, but have been keeping busy with work and exercise. My friends have also been great since they found out, and have been dragging me out of the house to hang out. I decided to read the email and wish I hadn't. The story Kate told in the email was mostly the same, but there was no mention of going into Max's apartment to order an Uber. There were also pretty explicit details of what they did, for how long, and that they had apparently used a condom. I will never be able to forget this description. Many people who were originally criticizing me for kicking Kate out of the house have now apologized, but they can keep it. Kate's parents reached out to apologize, and I spoke to them because we had a good relationship before all of this. They begged me to try to work it out, but said they understood if I decided to get divorced. I didn't commit to either option. Kate's other friend, that was there that night, contacted me to tell me her side of the story. It mostly matched up. Bar food home. She said Kate could stay over at her house, but she refused, saying she was driving home early the next morning. Max apparently insisted that he would take Kate home. The version of the story that she told didn't mention Kate trying to get an Uber, only that Max invited her in and she accepted. I asked her if she had ever suspected anything before, and she told me that about a year ago she went to meet Kate for coffee, but found Max sitting with her when she arrived. Apparently Kate looked guilty, but when asked about it, she said they just met by chance. Sarah, Max's sister, also reached out to me and I spoke to her too. She was angry with both Max and Kate and told me a similar story. Apparently her whole family are angry with Max, and she had not spoken to Kate since she found out. She apologized on behalf of her idiot brother and said she had warned him to stay away from Kate since high school. She didn't think anything else had happened between them. I have had zero contact from Kate, but heard that she was going to be moving into an Airbnb near our house. Apparently she is not coping well and called in sick from work a few times over the last few weeks. She does have support from the friend she is currently living with, and I asked her parents to keep an eye on her. Her parents came up to see her this past weekend. I went out with some friends at the weekend and ended up drunk at a bar. I was talking to a girl there who I probably could have gone home with, but I stopped myself because I wanted to keep my self-respect. Reading the email and hearing what they had done made me give up hope of repairing this, especially when I know she is not being truthful with me on other things. So who knows? I will be moving ahead with the divorce and might not even wait a month before telling Kate that this is my final decision.
I am glad to hear that you're doing better, OP. And as expected from a cheater, as everyone and yourself predicted, her story was absolute bullshit. From the way that her friends spoke about it, especially that meeting for coffee, the affair has been going on for quite a while. The guilt must have finally gotten to her, which is why she's confessing right now. Or she knew that she was about to get caught, so she decided to confess first. Either way, you are doing the right thing, OP. Zero tolerance. I'll be looking out for your final update. Viewer support is the best way for me to remain independent and continue bringing you these daily videos, which will always be here on my channels for you to watch absolutely free. So please consider subscribing to me on Rumble and on YouTube. Both will be linked in the description box down below. Thanks for listening, everyone. If you even somewhat enjoyed today's story, make sure to give this video a thumbs up, and if you really like it, consider subscribing to PattSun to never miss a future upload. Stay strong.